Hello everyone and welcome to Albert Tutorial. Albert Tutorial is a volunteering center where we prepare and share tutorials on various topics. This course will focus on Python programming language. In today's lecture, I will introduce you to the course. We'll see what is the course about and the need to learn it. Then we'll see the layout of the course, where we'll see the course outline and books and references that are going to be used. We'll also start the first chapter, where we'll see about formal and programming language and get introduced to Python. And we're going to set up our environment for Python. We're going to download Python, see about text editors and IDEs, and some simple example codes. So let me introduce you the course. So this is a course on Python programming, and we will cover topics from basic to intermediate level. We'll touch some advanced concepts as well. The main objective is to equip students with enough knowledge for them to dig deeper, and we will focus on exercises and practical examples while also discussing concepts on Python programming. So just to give you a glimpse of what Python programming is, it's a famous programming language that has many real-world applications. We can use Python to build web applications. We can use Python to build games. We can use Python to build applications to solve business problems. Even Python has applications in scientific and academic work. It's a very general purpose programming language. Thus, whether you are a programmer or simply learning Python out of passion, I highly recommend this course, as programming has wide applications in any discipline. And for the requirement of this course, students are expected to have basic understanding on how to use computer, like how to install and use applications, how to create files and folders and the like. Other than that, any other requirement will be taught along the course, so don't worry. And let me introduce myself. I am Uguma Ishitala, and I'm your tutor. I am a first year computer science and engineering student in Adama Science and Technology University. I have adequate knowledge and experience to give you this course on Python. I hope you enjoy this course alongside me. And thus, let me tell you about the course outline. So we have 9 chapters. The first chapter will be an introduction, which we're going to see today. Then we'll see about variables and data types like strings and integers. We're going to see operators, relational operators and the like, and conditionals, if statements and the like. We're going to see functions, how to define them and use them. We're going to iterations like loops, for loops, while loops, and recursions. We're going to see additional built-in data types like dictionaries, lists, and tuples. We're going to see files, how to read and write to a file, and how to handle exceptions in the 7th chapter. In the 8th chapter, we'll see about classes and the concepts related to classes, attributes, and lastly, in the 9th chapter, we'll see application of Python programming, where we'll see web applications and the like, and machine learning. And these are the chapters of the course. Let me introduce you the textbooks we are going to use for this course. The first textbooks we're going to use is Think Python, How to Think Like a Computer Scientist, the 2nd edition by Alan Downey. Alongside this, we're going to use Python Crash Course, the 2nd edition by Eric Matz. So these are the 2 main books we're going to use for this course. And for additional experience, exercises and references, we're going to use Learn Python 3 the Hard Way by Zed Shaw. So these are the books. Also, we use internet websites, and I'll let you know if additional references were used when I teach this course. So let's start the first chapter, the introduction. So today we're not going to dive too much into Python. My plan is to show you the background of Python to get you a good base on where Python came and what is the concept behind Python. So let's talk about language. You know, we have many languages, and the 2 dominant categories of language are natural and formal language. So what is a natural language? Natural languages are languages that people use for daily communications, like English Afan Oromo, Amarinya, Tigrinya, Guraginya, Siltei, French, Chinese. You get the point, right? These are natural languages, and we use these kinds of language for daily communications. The second type of language are formal languages. Formal language are language that are designed for a specific purpose and application. So we have a variety of formal language in all academic disciplines, like in mathematics, in chemistry, in physics, in programming. There are different kinds of formal languages, and so as you can see, formal languages are for specific tasks, and natural languages are for communication. So natural language are good for communication, but they're not suitable to process computation and related tasks. Let me explain. So for example, let's say we have a simple mathematical problem. So let's try to solve this problem in English and in maths simultaneously. For example, we can say in English 5 plus 3 is equals to 8. While in maths we represent this as 5 plus 3 equals 8. So English is natural language and maths is formal language. This is simple, right? But let's just go one step up. So let me read this. X plus 3 is equals to 8. X is equals to 8 minus 3. X is equals to 5. Did you understand this? Was it clear? It was a bit hard, right? But let's see this one in maths. X plus 3 equals 8. X equals 8 minus 3. X is equals to 5. Which one was clear? The maths was clear, right? As you can see, maths is a formal language, and this mathematical formula is especially used to do computations, additions, and subtraction, while the English did not do a good job here. So as you can see, the mathematical formula is more suitable for doing addition and subtraction than using English. But we cannot use maths for everyday language, but we can use English. So this is the pros and cons of natural and formal language. I hope you have had a good understanding of what natural and formal language is. So let's go to programming language. So what is programming language? Programming language is a type of formal language that is designed to express computation. So just to give you a hint, computation is any type of calculation that includes arithmetical, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and or non-arithmetical steps which follows a well-defined model. So a programming language is designed to express computation. And since all computers and computational devices perform computations, programming language are suitable for the communications of humans and computers. So that's why we have programming language. We use programming language so that we can communicate with computers. Just like I use English to communicate with you, can use programming language to communicate with computational devices. So compared to natural language, programming language were devised because they are less ambiguous. In English or in any language, one sentence or one word can mean so many things, but in programming language, one statement exactly has one meaning. It is not. It is less ambiguous. It is less redundant. In the mathematical, when you are comparing maths in English, you saw that the maths was longer, while the English was longer. Sorry, the English was longer, while the math was precise. So programming language or formal language are not redundant; they are precise, and they exactly mean what they say. Like I said, that's why we need and use programming language. And what is programming? So programming is breaking down of huge tasks into smaller tasks that are easier to perform by simple operations. So if you have a huge problem, you will just divide it into small problems and solve those small problems in order to solve the bigger problem. That is programming. And a program is a sequence of instructions that we use to perform computation. So these are definitions, and I know it must be this is not what you're looking for, but this is the introductions, and my plan is to give you a good background before we dive into Python head on. So let's see types of programming language. So there are two types of major programming categories, programming language categories. We have low-level programming language. These languages are easier for computers to understand and execute, but they are hard for human beings to write. So computers usually execute low-level programming language, but it is very hard for humans to type this kind of programming language. So in order to have a good progress, we have high-level programming language, which are easier for humans to understand and write. But in order for the computer to execute it, we have to convert it into low-level programming language. So the computer prefers the low-level programming language, but the humans prefer high-level programming language. There is no problem. Computers can execute high-level programming language, but as I said, they need to be converted into low-level first. So the conversion from high level to low level is done using compilers and interpreters. So when we are later on, we're going to install Python. So what we are actually doing is installing the compiler for Python so that the computer can understand what you are typing. So high level programming languages are converted into low level programming language by using compilers or interpreters. So let me tell you about the history and features of Python. So we are now getting into Python. So far we have seen what are natural and formal languages, what is programming language. I think we have a good background and we have seen the need for programming language. Now we're going to see about Python, which is one type of programming language. So here is the versions of Python. You see the first version was Python 1.0, which was released in January 1994. Then we have Python 2.0, which was released in October 2000. And then we have Python 2.4, which was released on November 2004. And then when we see the Python 3 versions, we have Python 3.1, which was released in January 2009. You have Python 3.6, which was released in December 2016. And you have Python 3.7.3, which was released in March 19. Currently, we are using Python 3.8, and these are the versions of Python. So for this course, we will be using Python 3.8. So I highly recommend that you install a version of Python that is later than Python 3.6. I highly recommend that you install 3.6 or higher. So let's go to the history of Python. Python is a general purpose programming language. It's high-level programming language, meaning it is easy for humans to write. It uses English words sometimes, most of the times. It was initially designed by Guido van Rossum in 1991, and the project was started in 1980, but it was made public and with a finished product in 1991. It was developed for its simplicity, its readability, and writing fewer lines of code to execute many lines of tasks. So let me just tell you the features of Python. So Python is easy to code, so you can easily understand and write Python. Python is free and open source. That means it's freely downloadable. It is object-oriented, so you can it has the features and attributes of you can easily use classes. It's high-level programming language, just like we discussed. It is portable, meaning that the code you write in Windows can be executed in Mac OS or Linux operating system. It is integrated, meaning that you can use Python alongside other programming languages like C++ and the like. It has large standard library, that means it may be for maths, maybe for natural language processing, for any task you want. It has a very abundant libraries you can use. It is interpreted language, that means the code is executed line by line. And finally, the feature of Python, it is dynamically typed. That means when you define variables and use them, it will dynamically know what you're doing. You don't have to define it. So some of the points I have raised here may not be clear to you, but this is for you to have a good base in Python. So this was the background of Python. So let's go to setting up environment for Python. And now we're going to the practical parts. So how can you install Python? It is very simple. You just simply go to Google and you search for Python installation file. And after you download the installation file from the official website, you install Python on your computer. When you install it, make sure you add it to system path at the end of the installation. I will show you this right now. So open your favorite browser. So I have opened Mozilla, so you can type Python. And when you type Python, you have various results, but make sure you go to python.org, and I will directly click on download Python. You can simply type on download Python also. Download Python, I'll click on download Python and it will open the official page. Make sure you are on python.org. So we usually download anything we find from internet, but we have to be very careful of viruses and the like. So usually when you download something, make sure you download it from the official website just to be secure. So we are going to click on download Python 3.85. That is the current version. So just scroll down to the bottom page, and as you can see, you have a list of links that can be used to download Python. So we'll just use the one for Windows and go and download this one that says executable installer. So just click on this and click on save. Sorry. And as you can see, I am downloading it, but the download takes some steps. So I have already downloaded, but this is how to download it. After you have downloaded Python, just go to your installation file. So here is my installation file. So just open your installation file. So this is Python. As you can see here, please click on add Python 3.28 to path. Just don't forget to click on this. Okay, this is important. So make sure you click add Python 3.8 to path and just click on install now. So click on yes. So this is going to install Python. It is not going to take that much time, but for the sake of time, I'll pause the video and come back after it finishes. So the installation was successful. As you can see, the installation has been done. So let's click on close. And this is how you install Python. So we have just installed Python and we have added it to system paths at the beginning of the installation. So how can we check if Python is installed or not? So go to command line and type the following command. Just type Python space dash version, and if there is an error or if the version of the Python is not displayed, then Python is not working. But if the version of Python is displayed and then Python is working. Let me show you this. Simply, I am on Windows, so I will open command line. So on command line, I'll type Python dash version. Python dash version. Sorry, it's not one dash, it is two dashes. So when you type Python dash version, it says Python 3.8.0. So this is the Python I have installed, and it is working. On my computer, Python is working. So this is how you check. It is not one dash, it is two dashes. So how do you open command prompt? Simply go to start menu and type cmd on command prompt to open it. So let's continue. So installing text editors for Python. So normally you can use there's a text editor that comes with Python when you install it, but for this course we're going to use additional text editors. So in this slide I will show you how to install text editors. So a text editor is a software that allows you to write, edit, and run any programming code. Some examples are VS Code, Sublime, Atom, Edit Plus, Notepad Plus, and so on. So to install a text editor, just download it from the official website and install it. For this course, I will be using Sublime Text Editor, and I'll show you how to set it up. But if you are using another text editor, then it is okay. So just go to the official website of sublimetext.com or Google it, and then download the suitable build of Sublime Text Editor for your operating system. Finally, install the Sublime Text Editor. So I will show you this step right now. So let's go to here and just go to Google. So on Google, I'll type Sublime Text. So when you type Sublime Text, you are greeted with this window. So you can just directly click on download, or you can open Sublime Text and click on download, or directly click on download. As you can see, when you click on download, it gives you different versions for Mac OS, for Windows, Windows 64-bit or Linux. So I am using Windows 64-bit, so I'll click on Windows 64-bit, and it will ask me where to save it and the like. You can click on save, and it will start downloading. I have already downloaded this file, so I'll show you how to install it. So this is how you can download. You can simply click on save file and it will start to download. So let me show you how to install it. So the way you can install Sublime Text is open the installer. After you have opened the installer, you simply click on next and click on install. It's very fast, so you don't have to worry. And click on finish. So this is how you install Sublime Text Editor. But if you don't have internet and you cannot download Sublime Text Editor, Python comes with the default text editor that is called IDLE. So you can simply use this text editor to write codes. I'll show you. So another option is using IDLE. So this is a text editor, and you can use this to run Python. So make sure you have the correct version of Python. Sublime uses the correct version of Python. So let me give you a glimpse of integrated development environment. So text editors are the ones I mentioned, but you can use IDEs or integrated development environments to run Python. So IDEs have additional tools than a text editor. This is for your general knowledge. IDE for big projects, IDEs are recommended but for simple learning process, a text editor is as effective and sufficient as IDE. For this course, we will be using only text editors, but for your general knowledge, I am telling you about IDEs or integrated development environment. Some famous IDEs include PyCharm, Spider, or Eclipse. So these are PyCharm, Eclipse, or Spider. So let's see how can you run code on Python. So for example, if you type print hello world, the output will be hello world. So on the following courses, on the following lectures, we will dive in deeply on how to write code on Python. But the first thing on any programming language you type is hello world. So you can use the keyword print. The keyword print, and if you say hello world inside of it, this will be the output. So if you type print hello world and print my name is student X, the output will be hello world and my name is student X. So let me show you this on a real example. So let's open Sublime Text. I'm going to open Sublime Text. So this is Sublime Text. So I hope it is visible. Okay, so let's say print. Print is a Python keyword, and after you type print, you have to you have to write whatever you're going to print in brackets. So we're going to say hello world. So before running this code, we have to save it. So let me save it. I'll say sorry. So we are going to save this file. Let's call it hello world.py. So when you are saving a Python file, always make sure to add the extension .py. It is a must. Do not forget this. So I'm going to save it hello world.py. Let's click on save. So as you can see now, Sublime knows this is a Python file. So let's run this code and see if it works. So let's go to tools and let's say build. So here you can say it says hello world. I type in hello world and it says hello world. And let's say Let's add another print statement. Let's say print hello Albert tutorial. So as you can see, print means printing something to the screen. So I'm going to save this file and I'm going to say tools and build. You can use Control plus V to shortcut key. So you can see there it says hello world, hello Albert tutorial. So this is how it works. So the print is not displayed. Whatever is within the bracket gets displayed. So the quotation also will not get displayed. This is called a string. It is something that we're going to see later on. So what ways are there to run a Python code? So you can use an interactive share or a terminal to run a Python code, or you can save a Python file and run the file. So this is what I have just shown you, but let me show you about the interactive shell or the terminal. So one way I've shown you is to use Sublime text, but you also can use the command prompt or the terminal to run the file. So let's just clear our screen and simply type on Python and it will open a Python for you. So when you type on Python in command prompt or terminal, it will open Python for you, Python console for you, and then you can just simply say print hello world. So you see, it is displaying it right here. This also can be used as a calculator. So this is Python. So you can simply type exit like this and to exit out of this. So this is a command line. This is CMD, a command line, but also you can use IDLE. So let me show you using IDLE. So you can use IDLE also. So this is IDLE comes with Python. So after you have installed Python, just search for IDLE and it will show you. So let's just say print hello world. So you can see hello world here. So this is called an interactive shell because when you do something, it shows you it will show you the output right there. So let's say hello output tutorial. So this is called an interactive shell, but in order to write it, you can just go to file and click on new file. After you have clicked on new file, now this is a new file. So you can use this also. This is an option to Sublime text editor. If you don't have Sublime text editor, you can use this editor. So let's just say print this so printing has gotten easy. So what you do is you save this file. Let's just click on save. So let's save this file. So we are going to save the file. Let's just say it hello easy printing .py. So when you are saving a Python file, don't forget to write .py. So here I'm going to say .py save, and then after you have saved, you can say run module, and then it will display this is getting easy. So you can see this is getting easy, gets displayed. So when you are using IDLE, make sure you say file and new file in order to have a script to work with. So you can beside Sublime, you can use IDLE. So you can just simply say print 1 plus 2. So this will print 3. So Python can be used. So I will save this file and I'll run module. So this is says this is getting easy 3. So the keyword we have learned is print here today. Print is the keyword in Python, like I said. So this is how you use IDLE. So you can use IDLE or interactive shell. I just showed you this one. You can type your code and the output will see here. So simply you can say print hello world and hello world will be displayed. Also print and hello world will be displayed. I have just shown you both of them right now. So when you run Python from a file, just save your code. Normally, it is advisable to use lowercase and underscores to separate letters. It is not mandatory. You can use capital letters also, but in Python convention, files are saved in lowercase. So just simply type in the file name and don't forget to add the extension .py in your file name. Then you may open and run your code in any text editor or IDE you have. And this is all for today. I know this it has been a little bit of a theoretical part, but my wish is to give you a good heads on to the Python. On the next lectures, we will be using examples to see how they work. So here is what I'm going to ask you to do. So I would like for you to have a good understanding on operating systems and their differences. This is not mandatory for this course, but you can have this is for you to have a general knowledge on operating system. What is Windows? What is Linux? What distributions are there on Linux? What is Mac OS? Just have a glimpse understanding of operating systems. This is just for your general knowledge. I have not shown you how to run Python files from a terminal. If you have a Python file, I have not shown you how to run the terminal. This is your homework. So see on how you can run Python file from the terminal. So the simple hello world you have created here today, how can you run it from command prompt? That's your homework. The additional references used in this lecture, besides the books, I have used Geeks for Geeks and Wikipedia. And on the next chapter, we'll see about variables and data types. We're going to start writing some code finally. And at the end of this video, I will, as a philosophy, I would like to share with you the philosophy of Python. So in Python, simple is better than complex. So instead of writing complex code, it's just better to write simple and readable codes and fewer lines. This is the philosophy of Python. This is not something you have to worry about, but I will share with you the philosophy of Python as much as I can. Thank you very much for being with me, and see you next time.